Greetings and salutations. Let's have that a little bit closer. Greetings. It's one of them weird things when you can always hear yourself in your own ears. You lose a little bit of sense of sort of like, is this thing on? You can barely tell sometimes. Let's not have that quite so close to my face. Or maybe a little over there. And there we go. Greetings and salutations. Wibble, my cat, Wibble, indeed. This is Pathfinder Kingmaker, session 61. I've lost track of how many hours this is. Let's bring out a quick calculator. 61 multiplied by 3 minus 10. Hi, Josh is watching. How's it going? 173 hours it will be by the end of this. Woo. Great stuff. Yay. Gods, I did not know this game was going to be this long. So, yep. Hope you're all catched up. Josh, how's the family? Is everybody doing okay? I know that you sat out of last session because you were visiting them. Hope you've had a chance to catch up. Nothing much happened, I don't think, last session anyway. So that wasn't the end. You know, if you've not caught up, it's not the end of the world, I suppose. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit tired around the edges, but got a 4-day weekend, a couple of bank holidays, so not in work now until next Tuesday, which is kind of good, and I hope to be able to catch up on some degree of sleep. Yes, they were all well. Nice to see them. Great stuff. And it's one of them things where it's like this apocalypse, I'll keep referring to it as the apocalypse, has basically driven a lot of people apart, not intentionally, but it's just one of them things that's had to have happened. And I can appreciate, spending that long away from people. It's not great for the mentality, but at the same token, it's kind of nice when you actually get to reach out and go see people again. I'm hoping for me that'll be sometime soon, but at the same token, it's like, I'll survive, I suppose. Can't go any crazier anyway. So anyway, with that, let me just double check. I have done everything. Yep. So let us get on with the show. Click continue. But yeah, last time it was a lot of just administration paperwork. I did go into a couple of locations. I think most of them were for sort of like plot parts. Right, we're on this screen, and I'm pretty sure that there was somebody's project that I needed to start up. There we go. Loyalty is going to go up to 8, which is a bit pointless given the economy is only up to 6. But at the same token, it's going to boost up his loyalty score to a 22. And also that way, once I actually get the economy up, it'll go up by 2 BP rather than just 1 BP. See there, we can see that it's stuck at 6 because 1 BP is lost due to low economy. And I should be able to boost up the economy to roughly the same level because the value is pretty much the same. It's just the person who's in charge of the economy is kind of busy right now. So let's get that out of the way and see what terrible things happen. Add new lands to the kingdom, it says. Ancient Evil Curse, Part 5. So, 222 days before that happens. The rest they keep sending new armies to challenge our kingdom. It's getting harder and harder to endure, but we are holding on. Ha! She has messed with the wrong heroes. The previous attack was hardly the final one. We should gather together and discuss all of this fully. Once again, it's time to conquer new lands. To tell the truth, this part of the governance I like the least. Right up there with the term annexation. Perhaps it's a good thing that I'm not the queen. My peace-loving nature wouldn't last long on the throne. So that's that. What else is going to happen? Drink teardrop failure. The guard was unable to contain the crowds. The merrymakers got a gnome mage outrageously drunk, whereupon he constructed an enormous stone fountain of frivolous nature right in the main square. It took considerable effort to get rid of it. The power of blood failure. Top secret was a disaster, but they were opportunities, so no major harm done. We've got now 8 things. Councillor awaits in the chambers. Visitor waits in the castle. Octavian and Regongar want to talk. Lindsay brought an invitation. Rundig Scaregas for an audience. The price of a soul. Oof. Dangerous devil has appeared in these lands. He makes deals with mortals, buying their souls, turning them into dangerous wretches without principle or honor. The otherworldly trader must be tracked down. It's a problem. You have no chance. You at least have some chance. So off you go. Contagious madness. It's 10% just by... I really need to get my stability up. Contagious madness. They're poisoning sleeping townsfolk with midnight milk, a dangerous substance that grants amazing dreams but shatters one's sanity. And indeed, the citizens are going insane. I don't really want to burn both of the crisis points I got on just a 35% chance. But if I ignore it, terrible things might happen. Rulers competition. See, again, only a 35% chance. This is one of them where I think I might have... I could have done with paying a little bit more attention to making sure these ranked up a lot more. No, we don't need... it's only an opportunity. This is a problem, isn't it? Yeah, this is its problem. Experiments is a problem. 25% chance. Leave that to you. And then potentially we can get Harim on that once he's finished. For some degree of chance. Get both of these sorted out, scouting the northern reaches, central areas, and strengthening the storyteller skills as Magister. Let's go see what everyone wants me in the throne room for. Lindsay excitedly waves a letter around written in neat handwriting on expensive stationery. I have news. Take a look. Iravetti, King of Pitax, sent you an invitation to the Rushlight tournament. We're not going to miss it, right? And you're taking me, of course. All of high society in Pitax will be there, including the people from the academy. Maybe even Headmaster Atalia Gitaran. I'd love to see her face when she hears about the book Professor Eobald is writing with me. What is this tournament? Ivalretti holds once in several years. Ivalretti holds once in several years. Guests always come from nearby kingdoms. Mivron, Galton, Brevany. But I haven't been there personally, but I hear it's always lots of fun. What can you tell me of Pitax and its king? Well, imagine a roadhouse full of pirates, mercenaries, smugglers, spies, and other gentlemen of fortune. They're drinking to their success, talking business, buying, selling, hiring, choking, burying. Now, take this roadhouse and imagine it's the size of a kingdom. That was Pitax before Ivaretti. Now imagine some unknown bard enters a roadhouse, pulls a few shady deals, and suddenly becomes its owner. Everything is the same as it was, but now the walls are covered in portraits of the owner. A brass band plays music every night. A juggler with a pet bear walks around the room. Gnome strippers dance on tables. Barmen sell a variety of racy substances from Numenera beyond its beer. That's Patex now. If Ivaretti holds it once in several years, why did he wait until now to invite me? How would I know what's going on in Ivaretti's head? Maybe he just thought you weren't important enough as a baron, but now you're a bona fide king. His equal, you could say. There's no reason not to invite you to what he considers a major social event of the year. Are you sure this isn't a trap? It's certainly possible. There's definitely some catch here. This is Ivaretti we're talking about after all. But I doubt he'd try to kill you at his own festival. With business partners from his neighbours present, he's more likely to try and sell you some fraudulent deal or another. So keep your eyes and ears open and don't sign anything. Interesting. Well, if I have time, why not? Great. Trap or no, it'll at least be lots of fun. Great. Trap or no, it'll at least be a lot of fun. A ton of fun. You'll take me, right? Pretty please? Tristan looks worried but unafraid. Caron, your life is in danger. The merchants are angry with you for protecting your subjects against their plots, and now they conspire against you. Luckily, the people are loyal to you, and one of your loyal servants reported this treasonous outrage. We must make up our minds how to prevent this attack and neutralize the conspirators. One option is to entrust your treasure with bribing some of them. Another is to order your minister to eliminate the traitors in secret. But that's more their style, not ours. There's not enough time to call in the troops, but if your regent addresses the people, your faithful people will rally around you. Rudrin Skeg looks much better than she did on your first meeting. Back then she could barely stand for the wound she'd received fighting the golem. Now the dwarves stand proudly at attention before you in polished armour. Your Highness, my dear Sir Harim, deeply respected servant of Grotus, the Skeg clan has sent me to express our gratitude for everything you've done for us and present you with this humble gift. We crafted it from this for Sir Harim personally, from the metal of the artifacts unmade by him. Rudrin hands a small but heavy chest to Harim and bears. Harim frowns, trying to hide his confusion, then nods and accepts the gift. Well, I'm glad that you're all right. It's nice to see someone manage to make something useful out of those worthless scraps. Remember those books from Maestro Joshua's study? We'd hoped to find something about our past in them. Well, we did, and I'm kind of sorry we looked. We actually found something, but it's a sensitive conversation. We'll wait for you in the palace garden near the viewing point. My palace has a garden? No matter what curses the denizens of the First World cast upon us, no matter what cruel tactics they use, you repel them all with valour. Bravo, your highness. Accept this humble gift as a sign of gratitude from your subjects. Lindsay chuckles carelessly. Whatever Nerissa has planned, I'm sure we can handle it. Each of her attacks is stronger than the last, but we're getting stronger too. Tristan whispers, barely audible. In any case, it won't be long. Why do you think the attacks keep getting more dangerous? I think Nerissa has been playing with us. If she attacked at full strength a few years ago when the barony of Dumwana Barony When the barony of Dunwanna Barony, that doesn't make any sense, was still in the cradle, we couldn't have possibly endured. I bet she still needed to keep us alive for something. But now that we've lost our usefulness, she's decided to finish us off. I have a different theory. This curse from the bald hilltop is an unstable portal, a bridge between Galarian and the First World. And the more it's used, the more firmly anchored it becomes, which allows Nerissa to send through more and more powerful armies. I think you're both right. The stability of the portal does play an important role in increasing power for Nerissa's attacks. However, it is true that she allowed the barony of Dunwanna Barony to get on its feet, at least when it was newly formed. How soon until Nerissa is unable? Why do I want to say unable? How soon until Nerissa is able to bring the full power of her army down upon us? I'd assume her strength is nearly reached its peak. We might not be there yet, but the next assault will surely be especially dangerous. Can we use the portal on the bald hilltop to get to the First World and battle Nerissa? Alas, not yet. The passage between worlds is not reliable. We can't be sure where it will take us, or if it will activate at all. Such is the nature of the unstable First World portals. Such a portal is unreliable even for the denizens of the First World. We only see a small portion of the hordes that Nerissa sends through the portal to attack us. Nerissa doesn't care what happens to the countless who go missing. However, with each attack, the portal becomes more and more stable. I would imagine soon the passage will become a steady bridge between Galarian and the First World. We only need to wait for that moment to attack. We must prepare for Nerissa's next attack. We will prepare. Just let her try and come at us again. We'll beat her back to where she came from. I'll cap our victory by writing a song about her, a really funny and embarrassing one. Everyone in the First World will be singing it to her. Unfazed by the awkward silence, Borkin searches through his bag for quite a while. Finally, he pulls out a sizable brown paper package. There you go. A little something from old Borkin. If you ever need anything in particular, just let me know. If you're not sure, I'll go home and think of something myself. My bones ache. Thank you. This will prove useful. You may go now. My pleasure. Borkin then gives you a sideways look and then turns his eyes to the ceiling. I only hope that no one throws it away or leaves it to rot in some old chest. Oh well.
Iravetti, King of Pitax, invited our king to a tournament. But why? A demonstration of neighborly amiability, perhaps? Unlikely. The ruler of Pitax was renowned for his devious guile.
So apparently there's a War of the River Kings, because that's the name of the chapter. No spoilers. Let's see, what did we pick up? We got invitation, metal reborn. This helmet gives the wearer DR5/bludgeoning, an enhancement bonus to wisdom and charisma of 6. Where is Harem? There he is. Why am I near death's door? Here, have a helmet. Bombardier's utility belt, and this belt allows the alchemist to use 4 additional bombs per day. That will go to Jubiliost. I'll leave that on him for now because that's what used to get his kingdom rank stuff up. It is time to visit the Pitaxians and participate in their challenges. Take Lindsay to the Rushlight, No Man's Slave, Highball Not Heart. We actually have a chapter one to do. Oh yeah, Willis Gunderson's book to Juliost. Although I have no idea who might have it. I need to rest because I'm at death's door. Apparently we have a garden. So let's go talk to Octavia and Regronagar? Him. Forget his name. He's an evil bugger, so I don't really pay too much attention to him. Regongar. Octavia pensively fiddles with a small metal trinket while she waits. It takes her a moment to notice you as you approach. Oh, hi. It seems we haven't been properly introduced. Allow me, Octavia deli Fiordi? Heir to a noble title, a family manor, even a coat of arms with a motto. With a sad smile, Octavia shows you a trinket she's playing with. It's a fibula, decorated with a coat of arms, a butterfly, and an arrow. At the bottom you see the motto, "Serve solely my conscience." So you're from a noble family? I could hardly believe it myself, but there's no doubt. I'm the missing daughter of the Marchioness della Fioni. Missing. That's what they're calling it. How did you discover all this? It took a lot of work. After going through Joshua's ledgers, Janus ledgers, not only did we find information about our purchase, we found a wealth of other data as well. Connections, suppliers, meeting places. But tracking it down ourselves would have required crossing half of the river kingdoms and all of Numeria, and we couldn't abandon you. So we did the boring practical thing. Like kings or their entourage might do, we hired a team of sleuths to follow the trail. And they found everything. Who bought us, who we've been sold to, and where we were from. Finding my family was relatively easy. The Marchioness was already looking for me herself. They just needed to put a few pieces together to realize that I was the missing heir of the Della Fioni family. On the other hand, Reg's tribe had to be found with Looking Glass, but it's no matter. We certainly paid them well for their troubles. So what about Ringungar? Did you learn anything of his past? Oh, yes, but he'll tell you everything himself. Do you know where to find your family? There isn't one, really. The Della Fioni family was waning before I was born. My mother's the last one. She's living in Pitax, in a small townhouse. I'm going to pay her a visit, and I'd like you to accompany me. Fine, I'll travel with you to the Della Fioni Manor. Thank you, it means a lot to me. Rangar stands beneath a tree, gloomily looking down on the city below. Oh, there you are. Well, we found my tribe. Now we just have to go have ourselves a friendly chat. The half-orc clenches his fists. And what about Octavia? Did you learn anything about her family? We did. Turns out she's... No, I'm shutting up. That's her news to tell you. How did you end up figuring it all out? Oh, that's another story entirely. We looked through Janus's books for a while, where he found where he bought us, from whom, and who helped him. And we got all we could from them, but checking up on the information would have meant travelling all across Numeria and half of the River Kingdoms. As you might recall, it wasn't exactly quiet here at the time. Not that it ever is, right? But you know, we'd never leave you to clean a mess like that ourselves. Ended up hiring a pretty brave crew headed by a good scout. We can't do everything ourselves, right? We pulled some strings, followed some leads. They pulled some strings, followed some leads, and figured everything out for us. Well, almost everything. The important parts. Octavia and I will find out ourselves when we pay our families a visit. Are you looking for revenge? Not sure what I want yet. Maybe, maybe not. Might be just looking at those freaks to be sure nature's punished them well enough without me. I'm just looking for some closure, that's all. So who's your tribe? The sewer rats. Wait, no, it's not that. That's not it. The crab lice? The threadbare moles. Man, I just can't seem to remember. Oh, right, the dung pigs. The half-orc gives you a lopsided grin. How does he not remember his... Fine, fine, they call themselves the Sharp Fangs, and for good reason. Rengogar grins, displaying his teeth. Smaller than an orc's, but still large and sharp. They have kids with orcs to strengthen their blood. Not bad, huh? They breed themselves like pedigree cattle. So I've really been sold twice. First by my orc sour the mother, who took some gold to push me and my brother out, never to see us again. Then my father chose which of us to keep and which of us to sell to the slavers. Treated like an animal my whole life. Surprised I'm not barking on all fours. They tried to turn you into an animal, but you kept your humanity. That's something to be proud of. Haha, true, you just can't break Ringo. Alright, let's go meet your tribe.
In due time.
I've received a journal with your article. I thought it would be... Oh no, that's... I was just trying to find a hint of if it told me roughly where to go to find the book you want. It doesn't seem to. Pressing on with the plot and going to Pitax, I need Lindsay and Octavia. Hiram can say, Amory can come. At some point I need to take Rengongar out. Keep thinking of all the little side quests, companion quests that need to be done before the end, and it's like I've still not wrapped up this one or this one or this one. And it's like, jeez. has this got an exclamation mark? Oh, scouting the central regions. Our scouts have returned with news. Our scouts have returned with news. Our scouts discovered a notable location in the outskirts, a lone oak tree in the heart of the pine grove that has the look of a wandering stranger in a foreign land. The place bears the hallmarks of fey magic. It might be worth visiting. Riverine Rise discovered. Our scouts discovered a notable location in the Shriek Hills. A predominant landmark, Riverine Rise, can be seen from afar. The banks of the river rise to a quaint, picturesque hill. This place might be worth visiting. Can't remember why that might be important. Is this a Shriek River? No, that's a Shriek River. I was expecting to find somewhere I'm supposed to go for those two. Oh well, right, Pitax. Do I have a town closer? Dyerberg? Dyerberg. Let's go to war with Pitax. It would seem like that's a plan. It's a terrible plan, but... Oh, there's someone on the road. Get ready. I like the way that I don't need to encounter these anymore, but apparently... the option to avoid is out of the question. Ah, cultists. Thank you for coming to see me. Rogue, archer, fighter, 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 archer. People seem to be changing into owlbears. Why is that owlbear slowly coming my way? Shouldn't it be in the initiative somewhere? Who is this? Lindsay. There we go. Finally somebody took out the rogue. Can we charge that? Yes, we can do. Finally in initiative.
A calculated risk. Yeah.
Straight up dead. It's just the way I like it.
Yeah! Yeah!
Let us strike as one!
Sing us a song and shoot the owlbear. The owlbear seem to be the most dangerous. That and Amory's all actual sword.
This will hurt.
Not bad. That stings a little bit. Do. Oof. You're rid of her.
Let's try
Supplies. And it's just the archer at the back.
You forced my hand.
Who somehow is still flat-footed.
Hey, can someone help me?
Now you can learn how to help yourself. Just kidding.
That is not far. Something bothering you?
Magic, magic, magic. Magic, magic, magic. This archer over here. And off we go. Oh. Mr. Rogue. I can't manage the kingdom from where I am. Enter this location. Cults dedicated to dangerous dark deities like Lamashtu and Ugathor are proscribed in many countries across Galarian. However, the Church of Asmodeus has managed to coexist with worshippers of good deities. King Ivareti greets you personally. The bulky Khalid is broad-shouldered and looks to be somewhat around 50 years of age. His golden crown sits on a greasy hair with a heavily powdered face covered in bristle, and his expensive doublet is stained with oily spots. He guffaws as he squeezes you in a bear hug, enveloping you in a mixed sense of sweat, wine, and expensive perfume.
Well, my crown-bearing brother, welcome to my home. Stuff yourself, drink, be my guest. You've proven yourself in combat as well as affairs of state. Let's see how you do at having fun.
You are the epitome of hospitality, aren't you? But not so long ago, your spy nearly killed me. You do remember that one named Tartuccio? I mean, not too long ago? It was years ago. Get over it already. Hey there, Itheretti. We've only just met. Are you already checking where to stick your dagger? Pat Itheretti on the back. I am happy to finally meet you.
It's no good for kings and queens to stay in our palaces all the time. We need to meet, be friends with one another. It's all about keeping up neighborly relations. So here's the plan. First, the Fishers' Triathlon. Then a boasting contest. And in the evening, the best part, a drunken melee. In the interim, there'll be a buffet, a fair, jugglers, acrobats, all the usual entertainment. And after the melee, I'll announce the winner. And then we'll have a festive banquet and a fireworks show. Then we just drink till morning or find a tent to crawl into. Your own or someone else's, depending on your luck. By the way, a knockout such as yourself will always be welcome in my tent. Just joking. Just a joke. Oh, and one more thing. I'll have to seal your sheath. This is a peaceful celebration, after all, and bullies will be kicked out immediately. It doesn't matter if it's a king who decided to kick up a row, or just a shopkeeper. So behave yourself, and don't start any fights while you're here. Although I wouldn't mind baring my sword for such a luxurious sheath.
Noticing Valerie, Itheretti leers and gives her a raunchy smile. Watch your tongue, Itheretti.
Aha, of course. Such a pretty flower has already been picked, hasn't it? Who knows who will enjoy these plump buds in the future.
I assure you, Your Highness, it won't be you.
Valerie folds her arms across her chest and lifts her chin. You notice her move closer to you, ever so slightly.
Well, I have to go. If you need anything, talk to Nunzio Arpaia. He's my master of ceremonies, so he's responsible for organizing this mess. Have fun.
Authorities are here. It's a pity the hunt you held was ruined. I hope it wasn't the last one. Pleasure to meet you, Your Highness. Congratulations on your coronation. Let's see if a trader's got much Swords, armor, best and Mivoni steel. You notice Valerie eyeing one of the blades in the weapon vendor's stall. Her eyes shine with almost childlike admiration. She can't seem to tear her gaze away from it. See something interesting? No, nothing special, just... See the mark of proof on this sword. It belongs to the master who supplied the training swords to my first swordplay instructor. The first sword I ever held had this mark. I shall likely remember this symbol to the day I die. I never thought I would see this proof mark again. Valerie smiles, her eyes hazy with memories. I always want to see you smile like you are now. Valerie brushes, embarrassed but happy. She decisively places her hand on yours as you reach for your coin purse. Thank you, but it's completely unnecessary. The swordsmith would not be pleased to know his work was just laying around when it could be loyally serving someone else. Valerie smiles softly. I was just happy to remember those days and have a chance to share the memory with you. I rarely do this, probably only with you. She casts a final glance at the sword and then steps away from the stall. So, what might you be interested in? Show me your wares. What kind of sword does she use? Bastard flaming. Do you have anything fancy? It's got a nice selection of weapons. At the +4s. That's interesting. That's more interesting. Both of these are interesting. See, it's not much of an additional bonus, but it does have a 2DR onto the old one. A tourney. A festival of some variety. Hey J Station, how's it going? Where am I? I'm at the Rushlight Festival. And there's somebody selling stuff which is kind of interesting. Adamantine full plate. I'll give Valerie another +3. And then the tower shield. Didn't realize fireworks black powder existed in Pathfinder. Should have guessed from the alchemist. Do you know how far they've taken technology in this time frame? There is actually a gunslinger class within Pathfinder, and if Critical Role, because one of the things when Critical Role started broadcasting, they actually moved from Pathfinder to 5th edition. So the GM, Matt Mercer, had to, because they wanted to continue playing the characters they already had, he homebrewed a gunslinger class, which included a weapon that is affectionately referred to as Bad News, which was essentially a sniper rifle of sorts. It was single, all of the weapon was single shot, or Bad News was single shot. However, the pistols he used were cartridge based. So it was a revolver of sorts. So yeah, it's gunslingers are a little bit broken in Pathfinder, if you ask me. Not that I might, to a certain degree, if the gunslinger class was actually available in Kingmaker, then I probably would have chosen it. But at the same token, it's a very powerful one because it's a martial class that if you're within range, you aim for touch AC. So every shot you take is against touch AC, which, as you're well aware, is a very much lower AC over the higher ACs of, trying to stab somebody. Right. Just trying to do some mental math. Getting a plus 5% less chance of being hit is likely to overweigh the fact that it doesn't grant DR. Especially when combined with that, and she's already got a reasonable amount of DR. So we'll be selling that, and we'll be selling that. Now, weapons. None of these are made out of special material, so I'll probably keep... See, that's an interesting quandary. There's no fire damage on it, but the fire damage is 1d6, which averages out at a 3.5, but this is a guaranteed 3 points of additional damage, as well as it's a 15% greater chance to hit. I'm tempted to buy that. What else is she wielding? Just a bastard sword +1. That can go. Rage Claw is a longsword, but it's adamantine. And the Cold Iron Longsword is Cold Iron, so that gets past... These will both get past certain resistances. But likely to bench the Flaming Bastard Sword in favour of the... Unless it's a troll or something. I don't think... Although you can wear medium armour. You do wear medium armour. Oh, you're already wearing a +4, same armor class, but yours is adamantine, so great stuff. The Kukris are pretty good, and I don't think just having a plus... Are these... Yeah, they're already +4s. So +3 versus... I mean, that's also a +3, but that one has shock, so skip there. This one I think has, yeah, +2 enhancement bonus on both attacks, and damage. Oh no, the fire gemstone. This staff contains 6 charges which are replenished each day. By spending 3 charges, the wielder may cast Fireball. By spending 2 charges, may cast Scorching Ray. So, yeah, keep with the staff. Shocking Light Crossbow +1. I also think I noticed something else. Yeah, again here, the to hit bonus is going to be a boon. Also, there's a jolt. I hope I've got enough money for all of this. Yeah, I got enough money for all of this. Jolt versus Skimmer to +2. I mean... There's very little point in boosting up his Scimitar that much. He doesn't use it very often. So yeah, I think I'll pass on that, but I'll give him the crossbow at least. And let's sell off the rest of his stuff just to try and reclaim some degree of money. Any other junk that I can think to sell? Still find it hard to believe that I've got literal pounds of weapons. That's not bad. Brought it down to 87,000. Right. Now let's have a look at Valerie's ridiculously high AC. Let's check out these weapons. So 25 and 16 to 25, 14 to 28. So lost 3 off the maximum, but increased the minimum by 2. However, got a much higher bonus to hit. The critical remains the same. And her AC is now a 45. J-Station, can you imagine a player walking up in 5th edition with an AC of 45? All of them points. Still, at the same token, it's like you'll never get an attack bonus of plus 25. She could actually hit herself on a natural 20 and officially crit. But only with the 1 attack. And I'm pretty sure there's other people who just won't be able to hit her. And a crossbow for Tristan. Thinking of selling some of these scrolls off. I never use them, and they are taking up weight. Just need to go through them all and make sure that they're all copied to the book accordingly. Probably gonna save any resistance ones because I've got the communal protection from acid and the protection from, well, probably not the chaos ones. Not the alignment ones, because you never know what somebody's alignment is, but communal fire resist is also always useful. Communal electric, useful again. I'm walking away from the table, lol. I have an AC of AC focused tank player, AC 19 or 24 with shield. I managed to crit them so often I start to feel bad. T-Rex, zombie T-Rex hit them for 68 points of damage. For it's the first of 2 attacks per round. Yes, that's... The thing is, in Pathfinder, a crit isn't actually a guaranteed crit. In the original Pathfinder, you've got the confirmation roll. I'm pretty sure I've been over this before, where it's like you roll the natural 20, and if that doesn't actually beat its AC, it's only a hit. And then you've got the confirmation roll, and the confirmation roll has to beat its AC as well for it to be a confirmed crit, and then it gets a double damage. Right, show me your wares. Right, let's get rid of these. Scrolls of Aid, Scrolls of Bane, Scrolls of Bless, Burning Hands, Colour Spray, Corrosive Touch. Gonna keep the cures just in case. Just like I'm keeping the potions. Actually, I'm going to keep all of the Dimension Door just in case. Divine Favor, Divine Power, Scrolls of Doom, Dragon's Breath Black, Enlarged Person, Expeditious Retreat, Scrolls of Fireball, Freedom of movement. Harm. Haste. I have a feeling that in Pathfinder, you know, if you were to play it on the tabletop. Hold animal, that's why it was different. Hurricane bow, ice storm, inflict critical wounds. I think to a certain degree, if you're actually playing it properly, you have to be using just about every resource that you have available. So, you know, every scroll that you've got, every potion that gains you some bonus, I'm assuming at some point you should really be trying to make use of. Evil can go. Communal evil. Protection from law. Raised. Oh, no. Raised dead's useful. Raised dead might be useful. Ray of sickening, don't need. Reduce person, don't need. Remove sickness, I'll probably keep. Scroll of resist acid. Fire, electrical, communal. Fire, communal. Resist sonic. Scorching ray, they can go. But yeah, I've got all of these ones that I've not really used up. I've not really used the scrolls. I've not really used the potions. No, to a certain degree, it's like if you use absolutely everything at your availability every step of the way, I feel this game could potentially be easier than I've been making it. It's just, especially while streaming, I don't want to be going through sort of like every single scroll and being sort of like, is this one useful in this situation? Maybe keep the scrolls of the spells Octavia has memorized so she could replace them with rays. You mean, so like the scorching rays? Are we talking about? One of the things about any scroll is it's got a caster level. So, if I'm not mistaken, a scroll of Scorching Ray is only ever going to be of caster level 3, meaning it's going to do 1 bolt, whereas she can currently do 3 bolts. And again, it's one of them where it's like, I don't know if to keep hold of these because I've not been using them. You know, I've had so many scrolls for so long. Acid Arrow, Wand of Bane, Wand of Bless, Call Lightning, Displacement, Echolocation. Yeah. Oh no, Blind Sense. Find Traps. Spell she has memorized that take the slot of array. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sorry. Fireball, freedom of movement, expeditious retreat, good hope. Never even heard of that spell. Grease. Inflict critical, lightning bolt, magic missile, prayer. Gotta keep hold of a lesser restoration because that's occasionally useful. Shield, slow, stinking cloud, true strike, and vampiric touch. All gone. For a grand total of 25,000. For the moment, I'm going to keep the Barrows of Acid and the Scorching Ray, because they're the main two that I think are touch attacks that are raise, or effectively raise. It's also not really making me that much money, although I've managed to bring my total above 100,000 again. Protects Warden, do you have anything interesting to say? Old Israel really runs us ragged. Trader of alchemical stuff. Best wares on the river, don't waste your time asking where they're from, get these deals while they last. You notice Octavia fingers reach for a sparkling charm on the vendor's belt. My companion has taken a liking to your charm. Would you sell it for, say, 50 gold coins? The vendor gladly takes the gold. Of course, as you wish. Here, please. Ah, that will suit you nicely. The vendor smiles and gives, as he gives Octavia the trinket. Octavia takes the charm from the vendor's hands, fastens it to her belt, and smiles at you. Thank you. It's just lovely, and so are you. Show me your wares. Wow. 370,000 for the Ring of Circumstances. The wearer of this ring, after resting a while wearing, activate up to 4 abilities from the list below. Removing the ring will immediately remove all bonuses from it. That is nuts. So you can only pick 4 of these, but yeah, I think just about everybody could benefit from this ring. Especially seeing as though they don't stack. Because most of them, you know, it's like the Belt of Physical Perfection is an enhancement bonus. The Ring of Circumstance is a circumstance bonus. If you have the spell memory, you have a scroll for, you can keep it on free up that slot for a ray. Ah, I see what you're saying now. So if I'd have kept the Scrolls of Haste, which she occasionally casts, I could remove the haste spell from the memorize slot and then use the scroll instead. I see what you're saying. However, I've already sold all of the scrolls. My bad. And also, it's one of them where it's all like, that's always been an option, but I've never really considered exploring it. Not that it's not a good idea, it's just I don't feel at the difficulty that I'm playing it at, it's worthwhile. Because this is the thing, it's all like, I'm trying to keep this going a little bit for the sake of a stream, and sitting here and going through every possible option. And I know that, yes, it'd be so like, oh, I need to cast haste. Oh, well, just Octavia, use a scroll. One of the other disadvantages, again, like I say, if I think it's at the scrolls level, not the caster's level. I need to actually check that with one of these to figure out if I'm right on that or not. Because if I use Scorching Ray and it's a caster level 3, then it's only going to be the one ray. Now, I know that you were talking about other spells, but they're, you know, the Scroll of Haste, for example. I think haste is number of rounds is equal to the caster level. I think. Off the top of my head. And so if I'm using it from a scroll and it's only got so like a 3 caster level on it, then it's only going to be good for 3 rounds. Now back to looking at this. What's this? A greater belt of perfect components. This belt makes first, second, and third level spells cast by the wearer empowered and extended. Okay. Headband of mental perfection. I love the way the mental perfection is 120,000. The belt of physical perfection is 200,000. I mean, I would love another belt of physical perfection. I think I've only got the one. Yeah, the belts of physical perfection that I've got so far are 2s and a 4, along with, you know, 4s for physical form and physical might, which only cover 2 of the bonuses. But for that much, you can keep it. Ring of Protection plus 4. Yeah, I've already got one for Valerie, and that's the main one. Absolver's Cloak. And this grants a wearer a plus 4 deflection bonus to AC, which should be the same as the ring. A resistance to all a resistance bonus to all saving throws, a plus 4 enhancement bonus to persuasion checks, and a plus 1 bonus to AC against evil aligned creatures. This cloak can only be worn by good characters. Pretty much exactly the same stats, but can only be worn by evil aligned characters. I think I'm just... This guy's got some nice stuff. I would really love to be able to buy those 3 items more than anything else. And potentially that one. And potentially that one. To free up some of this stuff, but at nearly... I mean... Oh, he's actually got more than one of those rings. Huh. Do you know how many people actually have like 1.5 million gold to just burn on these things? Oh no, I can't clear it from that side. I can just close it though. If deal is not complete, are you sure you wish to leave? Yes, because I don't actually have that kind of money. Oh, hello. Got a query if you fancy a bit of D&D encounter ruminating. Sure, go for it. A young man staggers towards you, his expensive doublet wet with wine. As he passes, he brushes shoulders with you and starts yelling, his breath rank with alcohol. Watch yourself, who do you think you are, you pig? You trampled my foot and ruined my doublet. I demand satisfaction. Love the way that he goes from intimidation to bluff to just knock him out. Yeah, it's all like just knock him out with a selfie blow. Boomf. Job done. But best not anger me. I've put away more people and monsters than you have bottles over the course of your waste of a life. Get out of here while you still can. Intimidate for a 36. Got a 28 bonus. I need to roll 8. 8 or higher. Sure, go for it. I'm sorry, I think I confused you for someone else. Sorry, my mistake. These things happen. Mumbling apologies, the bully disappears. Players will be clearing out an abandoned sacred site on the coast. A small shrine atop a rock precipice rising about out of the water, some 30 foot below. Any ideas for creatures that have infested the abandoned sacred site? Good things to consider. Map is good for ranged attacks from the creatures. Winding path leading to a shrine point. Also, it can't be Kuratoa as they've cropped up elsewhere. Have you considered the Sahawago? I can never pronounce it. Where are they? These guys. Is that visible? Oh, no, that's a bit close. Where's the name? It's over there. Yeah, those guys. Across fog-shrouded coasts or endless ocean swells, these ominous drone sounds from a conch shell chills the blood to all that hear. This is the sound of the Sahagan battle hunting horn, a call to raid or battle. Coastal settlers refer to Sahagan as sea devils, for Sahagan have no compassion in them, slaughtering the crews of ships and decimating coastal villages. I mean, no, they've actually got a few variants. What CR are you looking at? Because you've got a variety here. You've got the basic Soargwen, which is a challenge rating of a half. And then the Priestess is challenge rating 2, the Barons challenge rating 5, with a variety of abilities giving you some degree of scope there. And also, interestingly enough, shark telepathy. Sahagan can mentally command any shark within 120 feet of them, using limited telepathy. So, you know, you can have them appear and remind them that in the water it looks to be shark infested. 4 players, level 6. So it should be good between 3 by 3.5 or 12. Yeah, the thing is though, it's like you can have a couple of encounters, one with, you know, sort of like a Baron and one of the Priestesses. That'd be 5 and a 2, I think I said. Throw in a couple of minions, maybe have some of the minions meet them on the trail, out scouting about, maybe trying to take out the local village or something like that. And also, you know, don't forget you can factor in the sharks as part of a CR, but then you will have to be sort of like Kuatoa. Yeah, you have spelt it slightly differently each time. But yeah, Kuatoa. I'm trying to remember my Kuatoa now. I know that I said that I don't use scrolls that much because, you know, I want to keep the stream moving, but I'm also now genuinely trying to think, are these what I think they are? Oh, you've also got Merrow and Merfolk. They're also amphibious. Could help. It would help if I could spell Kuatoa. Yeah, Kuotoa, by the way. If I remember correctly, they're... Yeah, there we go. One of the most revered gods of the Kuatoa is Blibdul Pulup. Yeah, if you get the adventure path out of the abyss, you have an entire settlement of Kuatoa. I was thinking 3 manticores. They've got a bit of a ranged and they take up the sky around the precipice, but I like the idea of pack of something, especially if they've tried to adopt the shrine for their own priestess baron business. Yeah, that's where I think they'll likely to do that anyway. I can't quite remember. But yeah, one of the things about the CR, as I was mentioning, is that you can factor in the sharks as part of a CR, and you know, just try and manhandle at least 1 or 2 of them right off the edge of a cliff, down into the water. Don't penalise them for hitting the water, but the climb back up is going to be something, as well will be the sharks in the water. Do they want to take them out? Do they want to ignore them? Who knows? But factor it into the CR, so you know, if necessary, everybody has to jump in the water, take care of the sharks, and then climb back up. Terrible idea, but they might choose to do that. The gnome's yellow, bloodshot eyes scan the faces in the room nervously. There's a room. Noticing you, he grabs for his sealed sheath. What? Who are you? Oh, it's you, your royal highness. Forgive me, I didn't recognize you. An honor, truly, a huge honor. I'm Khan Varil, a simple salesman. Who are you? I told you already. The gnome's voice rises in anger. I'm a simple salesman, not rich, not noble. Why would a king concern himself with me? He wouldn't. What is it you sell? What do you care? Fish, and the like. Who might you recommend I meet here? No one. Everyone. How should I know? I'm just a simple salesman. Leave me be. Farewell. Yes, yes, your highness. A great honor. Go. Have fun. They're very good at terrible ideas. I mean, most parties are terribly good at terrible ideas. What really disappoints me about some players is reading the GM's face. Never try to read the GM's face too much. I know that it's an easy thing to do. And there's a lot of things around the internet where it's like, if the GM's smiling, it's already too late. But, you know, I love terrible ideas from players. And especially when it's a terrible idea that's practical. You know, I'm not a massive fan of terrible ideas that are just silly. But I had a group, they'd come up with a terrible idea that I just would love the sound of, and I'd start smiling, and it's like, oh no, the GM's smiling, yeah, that's a terrible idea, let's not do that one, and it's like, no, I'm smiling because I think that it's a fantastic idea. But no, they'd back up and do something else and boring, and it'd be something, eh. Ah, adventurers, look at my wares, new wares, in a new bag, all new, all the bestest, only me and be old, can't be any bester. Show me your wares. The fearsome mace of Chubuk. A brilliant example of famed goblin weaponsmithing. Yes, goodbye. Tax warden. Dock worker, Welsh and Cheverway. Several concerned dock workers crowd around a finely dressed half-elf who listens to the workers with imperious dignity. It says we've been telling you, Judge. This is the first shipment in 2 months they've stolen from us. Can't keep that up. No matter how good the last year's business been, no cargo means no pay, and no pay means no new shipments. We've asked you about the thefts before, and then there's nothing changed. Where's the king's justice, Your Honor? The half-elf patiently motions for silence. It is true that pirates have taken route along the Pitax River and attacked several shipments heading upriver. The king has... He pauses, noticing you for the first time. He adjusts his posture to stand taller and straightens his sash of office before continuing. King Ivaretti shall address the problem soon. However, he will hear no formal complaint until after the Rushlight tournament. In the meantime, he advises that travellers downriver take care around Littletown. Until then, partake in the festivities and the king's generosity. If anyone has further questions or concerns, I am at your disposal. The gathered workers grumble and disperse, barely mollified by this response. A bright sash cuts across this man's chest, identifying him as a magistrate of Pitax. He makes a shallow bow while keeping his head inclined upwards, as if being polite while only conveying his superiority. May the King's law guide you at the Rushlight tournament today. I am clearly addressing someone important, but I don't believe we've met. The half-elf motions to his sash. I am the Honourable Welsh Clevoway. Cleavaway. I'm going to go with Cleavaway. A magistrate of Pitax, judge of the people's concerns, and executor of the king's justice. I overheard you talking about stolen shipments. Is there a problem? Ah, yes, that. He sets his teeth in a practiced smile, though his teeth briefly grind together. An outbreak of river piracy has caused some consternations amongst the citizens. Simply avoid or exercise caution near Littletown in the meantime. Littletown. Whoever called this tiny village in Pitaxian backwaters a town was flattering it. This tiny dot is barely visible on the map. Exactly. The GM's goal isn't to thwart you. What should we call this little town? Wait, I've got it. Littletown. Perhaps Pitax should benefit from someone who has a history of vanquishing bandits. Let us be clear, declares the magistrate, narrowing his eyes with disdain. Pitax's armed forces are entirely capable of handling these criminals. There's no need for would-be heroes or aspiring vigilantes to get involved, much less foreign interests. I recommend enjoying the rest of the festival. How can he be so deaf to the people's woes? And he calls himself a judge. I knew a judge once. He spent a night butchering her own kin, and then went on to become a zombie. This guy seems fine by comparison. I can understand his reluctance to allow foreigners to meddle in his kingdom's affairs. What I cannot understand is such blatant negligence of justice and the safety of his subjects. A fine day to you. Pitax Warden. Geralton guests. I'll circle back around and talk to those in a bit. Ah, the edge of the map. How big of a map are we looking at? We're actually looking at a fairly decent sized map here. Let's go up this side, see how big it is, and then circle inwards. Kind of Pitax Warden. Hey, you can't be here. This is His High Highness's King Ivaretti's camp. I'm aware. He's the one who invited me. Well, you're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to allow anyone in. If the king commands it, we will. But at this point, you could be a thief for all we know. Back off peacefully, or I'll make you do so. I think I must be lost. I'll just be going. Keep going. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. If I want in there, I could get in there. Daggermark, guest. Atalia, guest. Geralton, guest. JK. Oh, people with names. Or one person with name. Hanamid Belavare. Oh, Chiron, the famed baron. No, excuse me, the king of Dumwana's barony. Now, I might need to change my kingdom to a kingdom rather than the Dumwana barony. It just sounds weird being the king of the Dumwana barony, or when they refer to it as the barony of the the barony of Dumwana barony. Now, has come to visit us. It's such a delight to see you here. Maestro Belavar, do you remember me? Lindsay blurts out, turning bright red. Ah, Lindsay, of course I remember you. You and your nonsense at the poetics exam. I hear you have your own publishing house now. I didn't take you for the entrepreneurial sort, but I'm happy you finally found your calling. Tell me, are the songs you composed for Ivereti as bold as the ones you sang at my capital? Have my humble verses so offended you that you still recall their sting? Please, Your Highness, it doesn't behoove a person of your standing to take umbrage against a petty bard. Don't you know of the old proverb, the tunes are chosen by those who pay the piper? Tell me about yourself. You could have easily asked any of my admirers who Anamid Belavara is. That'd be about 3/4 of Pitax, and the rest are all my haters. Ha ha. Ha ha. You don't get to be the best amongst the city of poets and musicians without gathering a few enemies along the way. But why should I concern myself with hacks and soreheads? What can you tell me about King Ivereti? Anamid's face darkens for a moment, but she quickly regains her sweet smile. Love him or hate him, you can't deny he's a great man. Pitax was a boring place before him, only pirates, fences, and other scum who did any business in the area. But then King Ivereti came and turned it into a cultural capital of the region. With him in charge, the arts have flourished, and the city's been filled with songs, paintings, and statues. I just pray that Callistra breathes the same love of arts into the withered hearts of some of the other rulers in the region, who prefer to squander their resources on saber rattling. Some may say that King Ivereti doesn't have a taste for arts. Any successful person gets haters spreading dirty rumors about them. You should hear the things they say about me. Ha ha. Pay it no mind. Our king is a man of exquisite tastes and with appreciation of all kinds of art. Does the king have any enemies? Of course he has enemies, lots of them. Just like anyone who's actually accomplished anything in life. Take some of the old trade houses, for example. Laias Senza and some others who stripped him of their power. They'd love to see him at the bottom of the river, but even now, in their mutual sorry states, they can't manage to work together. There's also Isra Kaelsi, captain of the guard. He was just seething with indignation when the king brought new rules to the city. But who wants to listen to the whinings of failures like that? Ivereti brought a golden age on Pitax. Ye old haters will doth hate. Tell me about the Rushlight tournament. Our beloved king has run this tournament once in several years since he took the throne. Guests from all over the river kingdoms come to it, from Dagamark to Mivon. It's a pity Brevany didn't honour us with any representatives this year. I guess the Aldori aren't in a very festival mood right now. On the bright side, we get to host you for the first time. With Callistra willing, it won't be the last. Isn't Callistra favouring... Yeah, it doesn't tell us there exactly what her focuses are, but I'm pretty sure it's revenge is one of them. No, the goddess of lust, revenge, and revenge who take on the many faces and guises. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on what you're looking for. If you're in the mood of pleasant company, well, you've already met me. If you're in the mood for some Schadenfreude, you could listen to the whinings of Gaspier Licenza. His family lost the Pitaxian crown in a card game. Or maybe Altia Gitaran, the headmaster of the academy, who seems to think her skill at bureaucracy makes her a good bard. And if thrills are what you're after, especially the shivers down your spine kind, try speaking with Khan Viren, head of the Thieves Guild. Farewell. Enjoy the celebration. Nope. Can't go that way. Guest. Nuzu Apari. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. My name is Nunzoro Apari, and I have the honor of being His Highness King Ivaretti's Master of Ceremonies. You could say the organization of this tournament rests on my shoulders. If you need anything, I am at your disposal. Tell me about the Rushlight Tournament. Since starting his reign over Pitax, His Highness King Ivaretti has held this tournament once in several years, inviting guests from the high society of nearby kingdoms to attend. Today we have guests from Dagamark, Mivon, Gralton, and Timon. Unfortunately, Brevon didn't honor us with their representatives this year. It's entirely possible that the recent events of a stressful political climate have put them in a less than festive mood. But we're pleased to have Your Highness in attendance for the first and hopefully not the last time this year. What events are on schedule? The tournament consists of 3 contests. The first, the participants will display their strength and dexterity in the Fisher's Triathlon, a tribute to local crafts and trades, so to speak. Then we'll be measuring competitors' wits in a boasting contest. There's a reason we're the cultural capital of the region, after all. Finally, the evening will wrap up with a mock combat in the drunken melee. Then His Majesty will announce the winner of the tournament. We'll all enjoy the festive banquet, followed by a splendid fireworks show. What about flying? I'm good at flighting. I'm good at that. I am ready to participate in the Fisher's Triathlon. Let's begin. Ugh. It's a lot of talking in this one. Although how last session of this it was mainly just all bureaucracy and management, this one's all role-play and reading. Trumpets sounded over the arena announcing the commencement of the Fisher's Triathlon. We were to distinguish ourselves in 3 sports, if you could call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first round was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end, one side filled with fish, the other side empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other, barehanded, without falling in the mud. I'm sure this was just what you imagined for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited, but there was one unofficial but well-understood rule in the tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which of us would participate, as well as how fair we wanted to play. I mean, at an athletics of 42, and Valerie being at a 22, trying to do this completely honestly, it's a 1 in 20 chance. Not good. 5% chance. Or we could use stealth, which is a DC 30. And I have a plus 34 in stealth. We tried to cheat by discreetly throwing fish at our opponents. Competing honestly among such company would be more embarrassing than losing. As Chiron ran across the bridges with heaps of fish in his arms, he deftly tossed the fish beneath the feet of a Galton competitor who slipped and fell in the mud. Another fish found its way right into the daggermark competitor's forehead, sending him down alongside the Galtoner. The judges didn't notice a thing. We won the first round. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling shipmasts, and they had to escape the ropes. Once again, we had to make a choice. Once again, I had a choice to make. Trickery. 33. Stealth. We noticed a sharpened coin glistening in the dagger mark competitor's mouth, and the Gralton participant had a blade in hand. We exposed the cheaters, leaving us fewer rivals. See, I get the feeling here it's not about doing this honestly. It's about getting away with it. And seeing as though I'm a rogue, and I'm very good at stealth, I think I'm going to have to cheat by sneaking a blade into the contest. Because, well, I'm good at it. It's well known that you can't untie a knot, you just cut it. Chiron stealthily pulled a blade from his sleeve. While his competitors struggled to escape their bonds, he jumped to the ground and triumphantly walked over to the judges. Not an honest victory, but a victory nonetheless. We won 2 out of the 3 rounds. We seemed to have victory in the bag, but with rivals we were dealing with, there was no time to relax. The last round of the tournament was diving for river pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels in river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We'd have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gather the pearls, and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. We tried to cheat extensively and get all our rivals disqualified. DC 50. What's shocking is I have a better chance at that than the athletics check. Pretty sure. Yeah, I have slightly better chance at hitting the DC of 50 for trickery than the DC 40 for athletics. But I think we're just going to try and cheat by slipping in some pebbles in our jar, because it only requires a 2 on the die roll. Cavely? Jesus. Can't even pronounce my own name. Chiron oh, bother. It's that part of the stream where I just can't talk anymore. Say you can read it yourself, but text is rather small, I suppose. Chiron bravely dove into the muddy water and started opening shells, breaking his nails in the process. He put fistfuls of pearls into his jar as fast as he could, slipping in an occasional pebble, pinch of sand, a dollop of mud when possible. Once the time was up, his jar was the heaviest, a victory for us. Soon we stood on the pedestal and the judges awarded our team the victory. We were wet, muddy, and smelled of fish, but we grinned with joy all the same. You've done a lot of talking and voices, to be fair. Yeah, the thing is, though, if I'm going to be streaming an actual play, I kind of need to get into the habit of talking sensibly for a good few hours. I appreciate that there's going to be more people there, which reminds me, J-Station, 1, I still need your confirmation on that. And 2, it's just a minor thing that occurred to me. How's your Amazon Prime subscription looking for Twitch channels? which just is a general call, to everybody. I don't mind subscriptions, but if you have anything better to spend your money on, then spend it. But if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can actually subscribe to one channel. Subscribe to one Twitch channel without paying anything. All you do is click the subscribe button and follow the process. I don't know how you do that, but it's free if you've got a Amazon Prime account. So why not give it to me or any of your other favored people? I really don't mind excessively. I'm not doing exactly in this for the money. I'm in this for the laugh. Stefano Mosconi. Hey! Registration subscribed with Prime. Whoop! Thank you for the subscription. And you did ask me to remind you, and it's only today when I can't remember what I was thinking at the time. But it was one of them where it's like, oh yeah, I've not asked Station in a while to do it. Or to check it. On the plus side, though, we've also got this on the 1st of the month, so next 1st of the month, in theory, is reminder time. Although I'm not entirely sure whether it's a full month or whether it's 28 days, because, Twitch. Since your last encounter, Stefano Mosconi has put on a little weight. His appearance has become even more festive. As you approach, a polite smile blooms on his face. Why, if it isn't the King Chiron, please allow me to congratulate you on your success. So, we meet again, not on the battlefield, assuming this tournament isn't a trap, of course. Of course it's not. It's hard. It may be hard to believe, but King Ivaretti's intentions are quite honest this time. Trust me, he'll make a move sooner or later, but for now, he's invited you for a chance to see a new rival with his own eyes. I'll let you in on a secret. He actually thinks very highly of you. This isn't the first year the tournament's been held. Why was I just invited this year? I mean no offense when I say this, but both you and your state were frankly inconsequential, not significant enough of our attention. But your victory at Brevany's border and your subsequent coronation changed all that. In truth, King Ivaretti only invites those he identifies as worthy rivals to the tournament. It should be on auto-renew now, the last one seemed to do so. That's curious, because the last I heard, or the last that I knew, a lot of the whole Prime one was sort of like you had to go through it every month. I mean, maybe popular demand had that changed. It's just one of them where I thought it was sort of like the Amazon catch, where it's like, yeah, you get a free subscription, but you don't actually get to auto-renew it. You have to remember to do it yourself each month, or else the person that you were trying to support didn't get the money, because Amazon wants to keep their money, because they don't have enough of it. So, Ivaretti considers me a rival. I didn't think I'd given him any cause for I didn't think I'd given him any cause for a feud. Unfortunately, reality is that your very existence, along with the strength of your kingdom has acquired, is cause enough. What would happen if you were to join with Mivern against Pitax? Or perhaps you might seek to extend your lands west and not stop at the border. What if merchants from Brevany began travelling through your lands, bypassing Pitax entirely? And of course, the most important question. Maznoski's grin turns predatory. Do you sit securely on your throne, or does Pitax stand a chance of expanding east? At least you're honest with me. I appreciate the warning. Think nothing of it. I have great interest in seeing how events will unfold. Your face disgusts me. Die. Farewell. Until we meet again. And I'm sure we will. That is the secret chest. But we're good guys, so we're not robbing. Hello, what's going on here then? An elf in leather armor scans the crowd intently. He seems to be the only one at the celebration not participating. He's also the only one besides the guards whose weapon isn't sealed. Your Highness, welcome to Pitax. Here see Kelsey, captain of the city guard, at your service. You don't seem to be enjoying the celebration. This celebration is for you. For the city guard, it's just another work day, and right now our work is preventing disruptions of the festivities. I thought Pitax was a city without laws. Where do the guards come from? Even pirates and smugglers have laws of a kind, and they need someone to keep their order. The city guard was created by the trading houses not long after the city was founded. We're paid by the citizens. Not all of them are like us, but they all understand things are better with us than without us. Ivilaretti seems to have a tight grip on his power over the city. Oh yes, the trading houses hate him, of course. Well, first and foremost, he has hostages. Second, each of the families are afraid to act alone, but all are incapable of acting together. Gaspir Licenza tried to unite them, but to no avail. And it's probably for the best. Frankly, the last thing we need is combat in the streets. Ivaretti can be blamed for many things, but at least he took power quickly and without carnage. Now Ivaretti's enemies have nothing to do but sit around like High Priest Jerry Yarns, praying for Callistra to send help. Send her giant holy wasps down to take him away. I hear you're not pleased with the way Ivaretti rules. The elf looks around carefully. Not so loud. Ivaretti has ears. Hey, Krifu, how's it going? And Raiders. We're just at the... I've forgotten where we are. The Rushlight Festival? Finally got into the next chapter of things. Not entirely sure what this chapter is about, but its title kind of gives things away. It's the War of the River Tribes? Kingdoms? Can't get it from the screen. But yes, for the Raiders, if you're new here, I am Kyron Rushmore. I stream 4 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's Pathfinder Kingmaker. On Fridays, I play Hitman 3. And on Mondays, I am currently playing Cyberpunk 2077. But at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be joining Krifu over on Manapot Studios, hosting a game of Starfinder for them and a few friends. I also on Saturdays join a fellow streamer, Micah_UK, over on his channel playing co-op games. So feel free to drop him a follow. If you get the chance. And wait, I was going to say something else. Oh yes, times do vary depending on the day of the week, but I do keep a fairly strict schedule, and you can see that all below. And if you want to drop us a follow, you'll get notified of when I go live. So that's all good. I was looking at Cyberpunk the other day. Why were you looking at Cyberpunk the other day? Although looking forward to being a player in Starfinder game. Yes, it's one of them things. It's all I shouldn't say it too loudly because my GM for my Starfinder game is actually here in the channel. Say hi, J Station. But it is one of them where it's like the number of times where it's like I just end up getting to be just forever GMing things. I think at the moment I've actually got a fair few games where I'm playing and I'm only GMing like once yeah, I GM once a week, but I'm playing in a fair few games, which is a nice change. So it's one of them where it's like, yeah, I don't mind actually stepping up and GMing another game. Time to get you behind the GM screen, lol. Yeah, it does. It comes and goes. One of the things that you might want to join me on Monday, Krifu, while I'm playing Cyberpunk, because I don't really want to go into too much detail about plot stuff, because there's people likely not to have experienced Cyberpunk. And also, on Monday I wasn't able to stream Cyberpunk because they just released a massive update to the game. I've been through the patch notes, there's a fair amount in that. So come next Monday, while streaming, we'll also be checking out the stability and the improvements to the game. Hopefully I'll still be able to drive in the game, because apparently they've tweaked quite a bit of that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, but at the same token I can see why people were displeased with how buggy it can be. For me, it's just hilarious. You know, you're driving along in your car and all of a sudden it flips upside down for no apparent reason and you're flown 60 feet into the air. That's just hilarious to me. Yeah, we'd like to see all those driving skills go down with driving. Look, my driving isn't that bad. I know that it's not fantastic, but at the same token, it's all like, as much as my driving is terrible, it's still something that I've had to get used to when it comes to Cyberpunk. Now that they've changed all of the settings for the cars, it's likely to be terrible again for a while. You know, don't forget, I was playing the game some 20 hours off stream before even starting it. Anyway, I was just conversing with this guard, and how I hear rumours that he's not pleased with the way Ivaretti rules his kingdom of Pitax. Let's see what the guard's got to say. So one of those things I need to figure out is that almost all the cars in Germany are manual. I've only ever driven automatic. Yeah, I don't actually drive in real life. If you come watch my Cyberpunk stream, you can probably see why it's possibly a good thing that I stay off the roads. But yeah, it's one of them where it's like, my father drives a manual, and it's one of them where it's like, it seems weird to me not driving a manual, because it's like, just watching him drive, it's always sort of like, you know, you work your way up through the gears. It's not you put your foot down and you go kind of thing. Anyway, I forgot what this guy's voice was like. Not so loud, Ivaretti has ears everywhere. But if your highness must know, so be it. My fellows and I serve the city, not the crown, not the trading houses, not whoever has the biggest purse. The city. We dump this dump we call Pitax, and all the poor fools who swarm around it. Former kings understood this. They're the ones who arranged it in the first place. But when Ivaretti took charge, he thought the city guard would be his personal cutthroats, and once he realized... Sorry, noise is distracting me. But when Ivaretti took charge, he thought the city guards would be his personal cutthroats, and once he realized this wasn't the case, he started doing everything in his power to make our jobs harder. Hey Ali, how's it going? Subscribed for 2 months, woo! Thank you for the subscription. How am I doing? I am doing great. I am a bit tired, but it's actually a bank holiday Friday and Monday here in the UK. So, you know, I finished work today at 5 o'clock, and it's time for a 4-day weekend. A 4-day weekend. I wish it was a 4-week weekend. That would be nice. But yeah, not really got any plans for it. You know, partly because I don't generally make plans for bank holidays, and also there's an apocalypse going on out there. So, you know, these things happen. But it'll be nice, Joe, waking up tomorrow morning and not having to go to work. Although just remembering I will wake up tomorrow morning and still have to go for my morning walk. Great fun. Continue. Now he has his personal guard he formed, who are above the law and following the orders of the barbarian. Then there's that Khan Viril, with his so-called Thieves Guild. Scumbags flooded the entire city with Numenorian drug, blood brush extract, the poison that turns people into mindless sheep. Our former kings understood that even Pitax needed some bare minimum of order to avoid falling into pieces and floating downriver. But Ivaretti seems on track to burn the city to the ground. Your words are noble, true noble guard. Please accept my compassion and admiration to serve the law and the needs of the people with so much against you, even your own ruler. No deed could be more worthwhile. The stream is going well. Thank you for joining us, Retro Ted. Lots of people in the chat today. And it's one of them. This is a very solid roleplay section of the game where I'm having to go through lots of dialogue. So it's like trying to keep the conversation going here as well as keeping the conversation going there. But yeah, not doing too bad. Stream's going okay. Got about another hour to go yet on the stream, so hopefully I don't run out of coffee. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on your purpose of your visit. If you're here on business, well, you already know King Ivaretti, of course, but it would be worth your time to speak with Gaspir Licenza. too. The trading house may have lost much of their former power, but their skill still capable of many things. And if you'd like to partake in our renowned culture, then Animede Bellavara, the most famous bard in the city, and Atalaya and Gitaren as well, headmaster of the academy. Just take care, they can't stand one another. I always want to click on the chaotic evil, but I can't. Farewell. Be careful. By the way, I am playing a lawful good knife master. I could remember my alignment, I couldn't remember my class. So it's interesting trying to play this game as a bit of a rogue, but also lawful good. It basically means I'm good at stabbing people, but I shouldn't stab too many people that aren't monsters. Well, we found a thing over there, and that thing might be... Yep.
All according to plan.
Gaia. No, you're not talking to me? Okay. Well, you can do is you can totally do some chaotic evil options sometimes, just as long as you don't leave the lawful good section. The thing is, I'm using the lawful good as sort of like a driving force for the character. No, I'm very much sort of like, I think you're going to need to use the same silly voices in both stream and chat and game chat. I've not been trying to do silly voices apart from maybe the goblins and the gnomes, and I can't remember how they sound right now. Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, you know, if I try to stay away from anything that's evil and anything that's chaotic. So with that, it's one of them. Bookmaker? Oh, you do come. Come, don't be shy. Witness the secrets not meant for mortal eyes. An ethereal battle within a vortex of the supernatural. Bets here. Place your bets. Oh, I can bet. You filthy axe, I'll teach you a lesson. What are the rules of your game? You think this is just a game? I wouldn't be so sure. The rules for you are simple enough, though. Choose one of the spellcasters and place your bet. If you guess the winner, you double your wager. If you're wrong, the gold is mine. What's going on? Ooh, something special indeed. I'd wager you never seen the like. Before your eyes unfolds an epic battle between the world's greatest spellcasters. Mithriado, the devil tamer of Chilax, versus Zinmirgaya, mistress of the Irisan witches. Who will win? Who would you bet on? Octavia moves very closely to you and, barely suppressing her laughter, whispers, "Some charlatans, huh? Can I teach them a lesson? I found an interesting scroll here. Shall we see how they like it?" See, this is the thing. It's all, I so want to tape. I don't know much about Ishran. Ishran is a harsh, cold northern land covered in snow and ice of a winter that has lasted centuries. The snow never melts, and the feeling of dread that pervades the nation is perhaps ever present than the ice. For as harsh and unforgiving as the land is, it's nothing compared to those who rule it. The land is governed by the White Witches of Irisan, the descendants of the terrible crone Baba Yaga. All of the White Witches are obedient to their queen, who is the daughter of Baba Yaga herself. So yeah, in this case, I did a little Pathfinder 2e 4-party game there. It was pretty sweet. Zoiks, Baba Yaga's getting involved. Every city has frost giants and ice faint. That's pretty cool. It seems like a very rustic location for an epic wizard battle. Yeah, I think it's mainly sort of like the country fair-esque type of wizard battle. But yeah, so again, going back to sort of like how I'm playing this character, it's sort of like if there's a lawful good option, then I will take it. If there's a neutral good option or a chaotic good option, then I'll take it. But if it's lawful, I'm trying to stay more good than I am evil. I'm trying to stay more good than I am lawful, so I don't mind stepping into chaotic good when there's limited options. Or I think I granted Tristan special circumstances because it was like I could either banish him or keep him, and it was like it's far too painful for me to banish him. But most of the time it's all like, when I've got an array of choices, I will always choose lawful good, and I will try to stay away from the chaotic evil side of things when given options. It's been interesting playing through it like this because it is sort of like there's choices that I personally would make that would probably set me around the chaotic neutral side of things. But at the same token, it's all like, no, I'm trying to roleplay this out as a lawful good character and seeing how this ends up. But yes, as for Baba Yaga, one of the things I like and kind of dislike about Paizo is that they'll incorporate just about any culture in the real world, as well as any lore that is public domain from the real world into Galarian. I don't mind it in some ways because, it gives you little anchor points for different places. For example, Baba Yaga is the patron ruler of the iridescent witches and the so it's like that gives you like a motive and a direction for that area. But at the same token, I really do appreciate when Paizo tends to go down the more creative route of generating lore and different mythologies than those that are already set. But yeah, it's easily relatable if you already know of Baba Yaga. You don't need to know too much more info in way of lore. And yeah, that's one of the things where it's like, yes, it's great on that side of things. It's mainly when they use, and they don't use it very often, some overplayed lore where it's like, if they write an adventure path that's Cthulhu-esque or Lovecraftian, whichever one you want to refer to it as, it's sort of like, did you really need to do some more Lovecraft? Because, if people want to do Lovecraftian adventures, there's plenty of lore already there within Pathfinder itself, and also, if you want to do a Lovecraftian adventure, maybe go play Call of Cthulhu or one of the other Lovecraftian systems that already exist. Meh. But at the same token, it's all like, it's not like Paizo just go down the route of imitating lore and incorporating it. So, them doing it occasionally for the sake of giving people a Lovecraftian adventure or a, you mentioned Thoth, for example. He is of Norse mythology. If they did something like that, it's not too bad. Paizo can be a bit too edgy at times. One of the things that I find in some of their adventure paths is there'll usually be at least one book, and I don't know whether this is still true in all of Pathfinder, but I know that in some of the earlier works, they definitely had this section, and they've incorporated a little bit, but not excessively into Starfinder. I know that Dawn of Flame has this, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, Dawn of Flame definitely has this, but basically there'll be one book out of each one where it decides to take you on a supernatural / horror side of things kind of events. And it's like, you can be happily playing along in the adventure, being the glorious heroes and having a jolly old fun time. And then there's a book that'll just take the mood right down to Cthulhu level crazy, trying to really get under your skin, or go down the route of psychological horror style of things, which isn't bad if that's what the players are after. Don't get me wrong, there's an adventure path for Starfinder, Signal of Screams. I have read that. I love the idea of that. The thing is, in that you are trying to unsettle your players. You are trying to just unnerve them in whatever way you can. And for that, you need consent from the players that this is me trying to weird you out. You also need the right players for this, because there are some very happy-go-lucky players who, no matter how much you try to drive the mood into horror, they'll try to look on the bright side of things and, make jokes at the expense of NPCs, which, again, is not that bad, and it's something fun to be had in most role-playing sessions, and it's not something that is to be totally avoided in a horror setting, because you do occasionally need to give your players a break, or you will potentially do some mental trauma there that's really not worth it for the sake of a game. So letting them have a laugh occasionally, but if there's somebody who will find a joke in everything that you're saying, they're probably best not to bring them to a horror session. But for Signal of Screams, it's all in its own little adventure path. You don't have to run it if you don't want. You don't have to even buy it. Just be warned, in most horror films, the comic relief doesn't live too long. The comic relief as in the person who's comic relief, or the mood of comic relief? See, I really want to say lawful. Part of me just wants to say great idea, go for it, do it. I hope the scroll has something like fireball or poisonous cloud. It's like just seeing what happens. I really want the person. They usually say the third last. They usually say the third last to die. I'm trying to remember the horror films that I've watched. I don't really do horror that much. Horror is one of them things where it's like, I've watched the occasional horror movie, and I've watched some things that have been classified as horror movies. But it tends to unnerve me because I'm not in control. When it comes to role-playing games, and me being the GM, I'm in control, so I don't get freaked out by it. And I suppose I could probably play in a horror role-playing game. Because I'm there and I can... If I watch something with a horror theme, it's one of them where it's like, I'm not in control and I can't affect anything. So I'd rather just not put myself through that. But yeah. The last horror movie that I remember watching was Alien. So you've got your crew of 6. Lona goes first, and then the couple, then the comic relief, leaving the lead guy and girl, with the lead girl usually being sole survivor. Do the neutral option at least. It won't move your alignment that much. I mean, I just can't. I gotta be faithful to the alignment, Krifu. As much as it would be entertaining to see what happens, I'm gonna have to go with lawful good. Because I'm the lawful good guy. I know that I'm doing this at the sake of expense, but it's just like... I'll tell you how strict I am with the lawful good. I loved... spoilers if you've not played the game. Close your ears. If you wish. And I'll wave when it's over, but... There's the MP, there's a player character, or there's a character, Ekundayo. I loved how much damage that he could output, and I loved where the narrative of his tale was going in terms of the companion side quests. But when he attacked me, and the lawful good option was exile him, it pained me to click on no. You are a danger to us. You should not have attacked me. You are hereby exiled. But I still clicked on it. So it was like, it was painful to do, but I did it because I'm sticking to this lawful good. No, he's neutral. I think he's... I think he might be lawful neutral or neutral good. Not entirely sure. He might have been one of the good guys. I mean, like I say, I wasn't really actively using him at the time, so getting rid of him, while painful and where I wanted to see where it went, and occasionally sub him in when I didn't want as much magic in the group, would have been nice. When it came to Tristan, and I got given pretty much exactly the same option, where it's like, if I stuck to the lawful good, it's like, no, you are. It's understandable what you've done, but you are hereby exiled from my domain. It was just like, I can't go through with exiling Tristan. It's just one of them where I couldn't do it. I don't think Tristan is so intrinsic to this group, and his character I like so much. Even though chat, and I say chat, it's mainly J-Station who just despises him. Call him the betrayer. It was like, no, I want to know what's going on inside Tristan's head and where that is going to go. To the point where it's like, it's probably one of the few times where there was a lawful good option and I didn't take it. You also despise him. I mean, I know I need followers and people watching my stream and everything, but the pair of you can just get out if you don't want to be here. See, I don't really know much about JFile because, it's all like, I'm trying to keep the group as neutral, as lawful good as possible. I take Anne-Marie because she's a beast, and she's not too bad at keeping in check. But everybody else has something on the good side of things. I am very tempted at some point to potentially... So we betray you and we have to leave, but Tristan over. Oh, okay, let's move this on before the stream. Oh, yeah, wave. I'm not talking about a Kandeo anymore. Unplug your ears, people. Whoops. Lawful good. Don't. And you better return that scroll to whomever you found it from. You're such a bore. It's a holiday. Have some fun for once in your life. Come on, smile. Wasn't I supposed to bet on somebody? The blue team method and the red team method. Oh, they're just punching each other now. Okay. Give it to that one. Bets are set, no more bets, let the battle commence. Oh, here we go. We're on the top one. I think. Did I just... Yeah, the top one. But yes, once I've gotten over how long this game is, I am tempted to replay this game and go down one of the other alignment routes and see where the story goes and how much it differs. Wait, it's a Pokemon battle. Well, it's not really a Pokemon battle. They've summoned. That's like saying any summoner necromancer, because technically necromancers could be considered Pokemon trainer. It's like, raise the dead, go fight for me. Yay, I won. Okay. Wait, what? Did I... I gained 1000 GP. Yay, I did win. This ran over Cheliax any day. See, I've not really had much experience of either of the places. And one of those where it's... I like Cheliax because as far as I'm aware, it's mostly... regarding sort of like lore that Paizo has made up, which going back to sort of, I feel some tropes are overplayed. I prefer to go into an original situation, but at the same token, it's like if somebody was to run a game in any location, I'd probably little flamey guys having a fight in a little arena, totally a Pokemon battle. I mean, you could say that just about anything. I mean, technically by the same token, because you have fighting type Pokemon. So WWE is technically Pokemon battle. Two guys just duking it out. It's all staged, but hey, who cares? My good regards, King Chiron. Gaspira Licenza at your service. Tell me about yourself. I am head of the Licenza family, and the master of what remains of the Iron Fox trade house. Before Itheretti took the crown, it would have been my family receiving you at our house. Alas, we're simply guests at his celebration now. What caused you to lose influence? It's a dark and sordid story, and I swear I give my life to learn the full truth of it. Pitax was founded by 4 families and ruled by their 4 trade houses for centuries. We quarrelled from time to time, of course, and property didn't always change hands peacefully, but none of us would dream of impinging on another's family's lawful rights. And then Itheretti appeared. We underestimated, thought him nothing more than another adventurer like the thousands of others in the region. He handled matters quickly and chaotically, and with assets running through his fingers faster than chips at a card table. His wealth grew rapidly, but still wasn't a big fish, for a while at least. He invited representatives from all trade houses to play cards. No one really knows exactly what happened, but by morning he owned most of their assets, including the crown. They suspected a rigged game and sent representatives from the families to discuss the matter with him. But then a wave of disappearance rolled across the city. My brothers, the former kings of Pitax, disappeared, along with many other honourable people. And Itheretti made it clear that the lives of his hostages would depend on our obedience. He was king, and our wealth and power lay in ruins. Only if they were little guys the coaches summoned out. And I'm not saying I wouldn't watch that. Sounds like they were wheeled and dealed out of the kingdom and out of existence. Pretty much. I mean, he says hostages, but I don't think he'd keep hostages for that long. It's just so inconvenient. Just say that they're hostages and murder them and then dispose of the bodies quietly. Yeah. It's 4 less mouths to feed. The citizens of Pitax seem to love Itheretti. It would seem so, wouldn't it? Yet appearances can be deceiving. Yes, he has made many rich and happy, but there are many more lives that he's dragged through the mud by his own endless celebrations. Trust me, there are many who would gladly put an end to his rule, but the king has so many spies that everyone's afraid to even discuss it. Ask the head of his precious academy, Atalia Gitarin, what she thinks, or maybe High Priest Drejans. You'll see their mouths shut tighter than an oyster shell. Who would you recommend I meet here? I'd do better to tell you who you should avoid. There's a gloomy, sickly-looking gnome wandering about. Khan Viril, chief of the so-called Thieves Guild. He's Itheretti's primary business partner, and they understand the word business quite broadly. Fucking Pitax, literally the reason for my perma game over. I'll never forgive them. Yeah, there's a part of me that dreads what's coming because I've heard a fair number of rumours where it's like, you can get to this point in the game fairly easily, but if you've not done these things correctly, you're screwed. You say the so-called Thieves Guild. What is it he really does? Certainly not picking pockets. The fellow came from Numeria shortly after Ivaretti started his reign. I won't lie, the Pitaxian trade houses occasionally made some questionable deals. But before Ivaretti, those like Viril were driven from the city faster than you can say first dose is free. The man's a drug pusher. He sells blood brush extract. They say it enhances the senses extraordinarily and invokes vivid visions, but it also affects the mind and could be toxic in repeated doses. I saw those who overuse it. They could not put 3 words together. Because of the real, half the city's youth is on his trash. And if Everett is pleased as punch about it, the more time the citizens spend in altered states, the fewer questions they asked. If the gnome uses his own product, it affects both the body and the mind. He fears his own shadow, seeing deception and trickery everywhere. Those who deal with him hope for fabulous profits, but they more often end up at the bottom of the river. Farewell. It was an honor speaking with you, Your Highness. Right. Can I go down this way? Yes, I can. So there's 2 more people that have yachtnet now. My brain's going. I can't speak properly anymore. 3 hours of dialogue will do that to you. Test your finesse against the finest dwarven locksmithing. Crack the lock, get the prize. Who'll challenge the best dwarven locks in the 5 Kings Mountains? What's going on? Do you know your way around a lockpick? Why not show off your skills? Here are 3 chests, bound with the finest dwarven locks straight from Highhelm. 1 attempt is 500 gold. Open 1 lock and you get some of your money back. Open 2 locks and you get back more than you paid. Open all 3 and you'll get the grand prize. I'll try to pick the locks. Splendid, come, come, the table's right here. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, I've got my gloves on. Is there anything else I can do to boost this?
Right here, my friend.
Oh, it's an enhancement bonus. Yep, no.
Focus on the goal.
This is the best that I got. The first lock is open, congratulations, but can you open the second? It's a DC 24 and I had a 33 modifier, Jesus.
It is finished.
The second lock's defeated, only the hardest remains. Okay, that was a little bit more difficult.
Oh.
Poison dart? I can't believe it, he just popped the last lock. Only 1 in a million could do such a thing. Can't believe he trapped the lock though, and I just made it. It seems pretty fun stealing that for a game, lol. What the fuck? Wow, they take their game seriously. That's kind of funny though. I think to a certain degree it might be solid. Maybe you can find it and defeat it, but yes. 3,000 gold pieces though. Until 5,300. Not bad. Here comes the conqueror of locks, scourge of chests himself. Congratulations, it was a splendid victory. Have a nice day. Galton guests, trader. What's that? Let's see what you've got. Oh, your poisons. A lapis lazuli wyvern. So I got the peridot one. Although that's maximum HD 12. Whereas this is maximum HD 16. What are you... Jay, you mentioned stealing something. Yeah, I've had this lapis, the peridot wyvern for ages now. I cannot even remember where I got it from. But I've not used it even once yet. Yeah, you said you were thinking about stealing it for a game. And what was it? The locks? If you keep the peridot with the lapis lazuli together, maybe they fall in love. Ah! Atelier Gerritin. This person. Greetings, Your Highness. I'm Atelier, Headmaster of the Academy of Grand Arts. Welcome to the tournament. Is it your first time here? I'll be honest, I'm delighted to hear what you've done with Dunwanna Barony. Not so long ago, it was little more than a hole in the ground, but you've brought it real civilization. Bravo! That's a deep cut reference. Yeah, the lockpicking game. Good fun for carnivals, etc. Yeah, it is one of them things where it's like, carnivals sound like a great idea, but actually trying to come up with games and things that the players can do can sometimes be a little bit tricky without it just devolving into, here's 3 dice, let's see how well you do, roll off, something like that. Deep cut reference. No, I don't get the reference. Yeah, something that's not just dex or the strength. Throw the thing, lift the thing. I mean, Matt Mercer does some pretty good ones for Critical Role. Constitution saving throws for an eating contest. There's the lockpicking ones that you've just seen. I'm trying to remember some other festival games. Lindsay here has some interesting news for you. Yes, Professor Eobald found refuge in our capital. And you know what? He's writing his memories of his time at the Academy. Memoirs of his time at the Academy. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining read for everyone in Pitax. No, all of Avistan. A book, you say? How brave of him. I hope he doesn't neglect to include the details of his dismissal. Atelier's voice is ice cold and bone dry. What details? What do you mean? Ivaretti kicked Professor Eobald out for just being too smart, didn't he? I'm sure that's exactly how he'd describe it. They call him the Insightful for a reason, after all. Anyway, forgive me, but I've no interest in discussing this topic further. If you'd like to exchange idle gossip, I am sure you can find much more willing and interesting company here. I suspect you know to whom I'm referring. How fares the academy? Oh, just splendid. If you ever find time to visit Pitax, I'd gladly give you a tour. We're currently holding an exhibition of our graduates' work. Though it's a pity that... No, it's fine. Believe me, we'll have plenty worth coming to see and hear. I get the impression that something's upsetting you. Oh, please don't worry. I'm just disappointed that one of our best students, Trebrisant of Cordialon, couldn't be here today. He could be singing at any capital, but the king chose to send him to some backcountry village called Littletown. Of course, His Highness would never squander talent, so I'm sure we'll hear from Trebrisant again. But still, I do worry. I hear you're not exactly thrilled by Ivaretti's power. Forgive me, Your Highness, but this is defamation. My students and I owe him everything we have to King Ivaretti. If not for him, the Academy of Grand Arts wouldn't even exist. It would be base ingratitude on my part to engage in any conspiracy against our patron. You must have confused me with Anemide Bellavara. She's certainly always ready to bite the hand that feeds, or caresses. What did you mean when you mentioned the circumstances surrounding Ebold the Insightful's dismissal? Forgive me, Your Highness. I prefer not to discuss the subject. If you truly are so interested, I'm sure there are more than a few slanderers who will gladly share the dirty details with you. Farewell. It was a great honor and an exquisite pleasure to meet you. Where's a gossiper? Oh, I got lost again. Shush.
Follow my lead.
Wasn't she? Ah, here she is. Will you tell me the dirty details? I believe Lindsay has a question for you. Oh, I just hope it isn't about any of the lectures I used to give at the academy. Go ahead, ask away. Anemide smiles encouragingly at Lindsay. Lindsay turns bright red, takes a deep breath, and blurts out, "Sorry, but I really need to know the truth. Why did Iravetti kick Professor Eobold out of the academy?" "Oh yes, he did move to your kingdom, didn't he? I'm curious to how he portrayed his dismissal. I bet it was something like a poem in 6 verses recounting the tale of a tyrant ousting a poor but honest scientist for telling the truth. The reality is much more mundane. Ivaretti didn't fire Eobold. Atlia did. And I have to give it to her. This time, unlike most things, she was completely right." "That can't be." That's cool. I've done drinking competitions with increasing levels of inebriation. Yeah, drinking competitions are par for course. One of the things about drinking competitions, though, is it can get a little bit squiffy if your players are of different character ages. Whereas eating contests are open to all, and also, once the eating contest is over, you're stuffed full. That's it. No negative benefits or disadvantages. Whereas if you have a drinking competition, you could be inebriated for a good few hours. Why did Elitier expel Eobold? Well, Eobold was a very fine teacher, of course, but he pays too much attention to how his favourite students perform in classes, and not enough to their extracurricular activities. Why worry if they steal a trinket here or there, or maybe rough up someone on occasion, so long as their poetry and music are exemplary? Predictably, this led to a sad end. What was supposed to be just another innocent joke for one of his favourites, Alondi, led to someone's death. It was an accident, certainly. The kid just underestimated their own strength. Attilia expelled the lot of them, and as always, Eobald went to stand up for them, but this time he discovered that her patience was not boundless. She blamed him, said that he'd let his troublemakers run wild, so he could get out of the academy along with them. She told him she wouldn't tolerate any more bullying, even if coming from genius students. I understood it was odd to hear "won't tolerate" from Atlia, but that's really what happened. Pale, Lindsay looks at Ganymede with huge eyes, unable to utter a word. If Ivaretti didn't banish Eobald, then why did he send those cutthroats after him? He planned to return the old man to Pitax and make Atelier reinstate him into the academy. Or, failing that, he at least wanted to keep him from going to you. Eobald the Insightful is a prominent name. Of course, Ivaretti would want the teacher serving him rather than his neighbours. Why would Atelier hide the circumstances around Eobald's dismissal? She doesn't like to discuss the Academy's internal affairs. Besides the need behind that neat facade? Facade. How do you pronounce it? Go chat. There are too many events. She looked the other way on over the years. All in good faith, of course. Thank you for telling us the truth. I'm not sure you should be thanking me. I see poor Lindsay's not too happy with his truth. Hey, come on, girl, cheer up. Being disappointed by people is practically a professional necessity for people like us. Whatever I have said before, you're not a bad bard, and that means sometimes you have to face the music. Lindsay gulps and whispers, "Thank you." I heard King Ivaretti can be too persistent in his flirtations. Ganymede purses her lips for a moment, and then replies slowly, choosing her words carefully. I'd prefer not to discuss private matters of His Highness with strangers, much less my own. The details of any interactions between us will remain just that, between us. Let's please discuss another topic. Farewell. Enjoy the celebration. I can't believe it. Teacher lied to me all this time. I'm going to learn the truth as soon as we get back to the capital. Facade. There we go. It was a facade. Am I supposed to be doing... Oh, yeah, here we go. Participate in the second... Was it somebody else I needed to speak to, or was that... Oh, no. Ooh, excuse me, that was just that. The thing is, I'm having a lot of fun inciting rebellion into the locals. What time are we on? Oh, we've only got 6 minutes left. Gonna have to finish this festival off another time. Oh. I'm Deschamps. Amid the tournaments for frivolity, you notice two men are having a heated but hushed discussion. One wears flashy clothing fit for an entertainer, whereas the other wears the steel armor and red cloak of Pitaxia's guards. It's difficult to hear what they're saying. creep over and listen to what they're saying. Although the two huddle near one another, their voices only occasionally rising above the ambient laughter and music. You're able to overhear the rest of their conversation. The gird? Oh God, I've really lost the will to read. The guard sternly chides. The guard sternly talks to the entertainer. I don't know quite what you're up to, Emar, but I know that look. You're planning something dangerous. This isn't the time. You know that he's become harsher about... Look around you, Tywald, Imar interjects. This celebration, it's just more blood and sport to cover the ongoing troubles. And you've helped, and we've both helped shepherd it along. This isn't the future we had planned for, but it's the ones the fates have dealt. Can we really stand by? He begins to raise his hand and strike a pose, as if preparing to make a bold declaration. The guard hand intercepts Eismer's arm, firmly preventing the entertainer from making a scene. You know how harsh justice is these days. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it would crush me to see a noble intentions harming good people, especially like you. I appreciate those feelings, I do. Eimer gently removes Talwyn's hand from his arm. But what Pitax needs now is action, and I intend to act. The entertainer looks up, spots you, and smiles as Talwyn frowns and sadly walks away. It is a rare day that life emulates screenplays, Your Highness. Could it be that the heroes arrive in the time of the people's need? Chide? Anyway, back to trying to read this sentence. Could it be that the heroes have arrived in the people's time of need? Oh, heroism. That's exactly what we do. See that symbol on his clothing? That marks him as a member of the Red Crescent Theatre in Pitax, a fellow artist. She eagerly extracts her journal. Imagine the stories we could write together. What seems to be the problem? I arrived here 5 years ago, answering King Ivaretti's call for artists and actors to make Pitax a new crucible of the arts. Admittedly, the king dedicated plenty of money to building a new theatres and schools. Arts only thrive, though, when there are visitors and patrons to pay for it. Eimer slides closer, lowering his voice. And that's where Ivaretti has failed. The Pitax River is our lifeline, connecting us to the outside world. River pirates know it, and they prey upon incoming travellers. You might think the king would thwart these pirates and defend his people, but no, he only sent escorts to protect key shipments, leaving everyone else to the pirates' depredations. This tournament, it hides how we suffer from the king's inaction. Now, when the king's soldiers cannot and will not vanquish the villains, what happens in the stories? He winks and gestures knowingly. That's right. The heroes step in. Numerous victims have told me of the attacks, and I have pieced together the approximate location of the pirates' camp. If you can ambush and defeat them, traffic will flow, commerce will thrive, and you'll command the admiration of the boatsmen, dock workers, artists, and more. Naturally, I'm prepared to write a play dramatizing your exploits. What do you say? I am always ready to thwart the river pirates. I accept. Yeah, Eimer grins eagerly. Then it's settled. I'll write down the directions real quick, and when you're done, meet me in Pitax so I can hear your account. No doubt the magistrate will be pleased to stop getting piracy complaints too. He draws a roll of parchment from a scroll tube. I hope you arrive in time to see my latest production. Speaking of which, I'm already late to oversee its rehearsal. Now that's more like it. Let's go crush those pirates, and we better not waste time here. I don't like Pitax or its people. Everyone's always trying to cheat you, or swindle you, or drag you into some other cunning scumbaggery. Consider this a little preview. Good hunting. What did I just get given? I got given some piece of paper that I can't now find. I did find 2 recipes that are not written into my thing. Oh god, that's long. Yeah, we'll just wait until the movie comes out.
In due time.
Right, what's I supposed to do? The river pirates plague the people of Pitax. Eimer, dramaturge and patriot, has spoken of a pirate camp located not far from Littletown. Let's go there and show those scoundrels some proper river justice. I'm guessing I have enough time to finish this tournament before having to go there. Now, what do you have to say? I heard a few curious words. Blood brush extract. And that you're no ordinary salesman. And your wares are far from mundane. Quiet, quiet, I say. And gripping his sheath tightly, the gnome looks around anxiously before whispering. Too many people here. Too many eyes, ears. You want to talk business? Find me in Pitax. I'll remember you. Farewell. Yes, your highness. Great honor. Go have fun. Right, that area is off limits. I think I've been everywhere. Certainly talked to most of these people. Believe this is the master of ceremony. Bum. Am I zoomed in? Feels like I'm zoomed in. It's one of them. Okay, I could continue this on, but I'm actually going to leave it here as we are going to call time on this. I didn't save. Let me go back and save because that will be a terrible thing to forget to do. I did it once with Cyberpunk and it was 3 hours of not very interesting gameplay because I had to redo everything. I think I'd go crazy if I had to redo all of this. Alright, that is now saved. Let's go back to just talking. Hello. Yeah, good time to call it. I won the first instant. Not got round to the second. I'm trying to see if anybody's streaming, but I can't remember where I turned on the mute button. So yeah, it's been interesting this time. Lots of talking. You know, the 2 sessions this week have been very different. The first one on Tuesday was very much just managerial and concentrating on the kingdom. This one has been a lot of talking, and it's still not ended yet. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to follow, drop us a follow if you want to come back and see me play other games. Just to wrap it up once more, I play Pathfinder Kingmaker on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I play Hitman 3 on Fridays. I join a friend, Mecha_UK, over on his channel on Saturdays. And I play Cyberpunk 2077 on Mondays. If you check out my schedule below, it's got most of the details apart from my friend's channel. If you go find my friend and look at his schedule, it should be on there, I think. Just going to call it here. We are going to go raid a friend of mine. Half Singer Games is streaming this week, thanks to the clocks actually sorting themselves out. Americans, Europeans, we change our clocks at different times and been not meeting each other quite at the same times. I can't spell. Oh, my brain is turned off. Singer Games. There we go. I can type. All right. If you'd all like to join me in this raid, it would be much appreciated. Say hi when we get there, and I'll see you next time. All right. That's it from me. Daddy bye.